Good morning everyone. Today we are going to be discuss about the series clipper. In last class we discussed about the shunt clipper. In the series clipper, we have the diode is connecting in series with the VI, but our resistor is acting like a load resistor. You are taking voltage across the R. It will be acting like an output voltage. Then we have to be follow the some condition to know the how the analyzing the series clipper. First one is when VI is greater than 0 volts. According to the ideal characteristics of the diode, you are considering the voltage of the diode. Okay, it is a 0 volts. Then VA is greater than 0 volts. Then diode will become on and V naught is follows the VA. And if suppose VI is less than 0 volts, then diode will become off and V naught is equal to 0. Then we have to be draw the transfer characteristics of this one. We have to be take Vi positive and Vi negative and V naught positive and minus V naught. Then you have to understand when Vi is greater than 0 volts, you will get the output is equal input. Let me consider Vi is greater than 0, output is equal to input. And Vi is less than 0 volts, output is equal to 0 volts. Then we have to understand this one is a positive peak, okay, and this one is the positive peak. This one is a negative peak. It means that you are going to extend in the line to represent the, what is the maximum input voltage and how the output voltage is going to be just copying of the input voltage. According to the transfer characteristics, you can understand. At the same time, you can observe that one where the diode is going to be conducted, where the diode is will be acting like a open circuit. And we have to draw this waveform relation between the input and output. This one is the input. We have to draw this one is the input. This is T, and we have to draw the output corresponding to this. Just we have to take the correspondence from the input to the output. Then for the positive of cycle, you have to understand according to the condition when V is greater than 0, output follows the input. So output follows the input. It is having the same replica of the input. When VA is less than 0, output follows the 0. This one is 0. What the portion was flipped now? This one is the portion was flipped now. This is the understanding of this clip. You can also change the direction of the clipper, or also you can add some reference voltage. Once you add the reference voltage, what is going to be happening? Just to observe here. Let me consider we have added one reference voltage. That too we have to be considered the positive reference voltage. Now the conditions need to be followed to get into the conduction of this diode like this. Vi is if suppose greater than positive reference voltage. Okay, Vi is greater than positive reference voltage. What is this one? When Vi is greater than positive reference voltage, V naught is equal to input. V naught going to be equal to input. Let's suppose if Vi is greater than less than positive reference voltage, but diode will become off. Okay, but V naught is connecting parallel to the resistance of VR, so output will become positive reference. Then how the transfer characteristics for this one? Very simple. You have to understand Vi less than or equal to plus VR, V naught is equal to plus VR. Means it should be understand we have the plus V reference here because it is a positive reference. Until and unless it reaches to the plus VR voltage, diode is in off condition. Then you have to extend this one clipping portion up to the plus VR. Thereafter, what is going to be happening? It is following the input. It is following the input. Here, thereafter, it is following the input like this. So, you should be understand it is now again it is positive peak. Here, positive peak. It means now to be understand this diode is going to be conducted in the positive half cycle so that you can have the output is equal to the input in the positive half cycle after the input crosses the plus VR. Now you have to understand how the input and output relations. Then you have to understand like this. Positive VR is there. Just to make it to note like this. Positive VR. Here you have to take the correspondence of this positive VR reference point only, because where the point which is important to trigger the conduction of your diode. So you should be observing from here to here, from this point to this point, you have to be observed. Input is less than VR. It means that when input is less than VR, output follows the VR only. So same point you can take here, like almost it is the positive V reference. Okay, it means that up to 0 to plus VR, it is follow the plus VR only. It means that after this plus VR, input is greater than the plus VR. Up to this, from here to here, just to observe here. Vi is greater than plus VR, V naught follows the Vi. It means it is the same replica. Same replica. Next point, then again from this portion to this portion, from this portion to this portion, here input is lesser than VR. So output follows VR only in this one. Then again for this one, from here to here, output follows reference voltage in the negative of cycle totally. Output negative of cycle totally. When Vi is less than plus VR, output follows the plus VR. This one is a input-output relationship of this type of configuration. You can also write, you know that by changing the polarity of this. Here you can keep this one minus VR. Minus VR. Very simple. If suppose if Vi is greater than minus VR. When Vi is greater than minus VR, V naught is equal to the Vi. When Vi is less than minus VR, V naught is equal to minus VR. How the transfer characteristics? Very simple. You can be extend this one. This one was a plus VR. Now you have to be move this one for the minus VR. They have to be marked this one like a minus VR because reference voltage is minus VR. What the condition is there for this one? When Vi is less than minus VR, output follows the minus VR. You have to be understand. Here also you can understand minus VR. Here also you can understand it is the having minus VR. This one is minus VR voltage going to be maintained. Okay, going to be maintained. Okay, up to negative peak. Then you have to understand when Vi is greater than minus VR, output follows input. Then you have to understand like this. Here, what is this one? This one is the point, it is the minus VR. Okay, here you will get the maintaining output voltage is positive, it is the plus VR. So, it is going to be extended up to the positive peak, it is going to be negative peak, this is going to be extended up to the positive peak. Okay, then what is the input and output relationships? Then again you have to be draw this one like take the graph corresponding to the input, positive of cycle and negative of cycle and output. We have to take the output. Then what is the reference voltage? Negative reference voltage. Then you have to take the corresponding point. This point only you have to observe. There you can find the change of the conduction action of your diode. Conduction action of your diode. Then you have to understand first condition. Vi is greater than minus VR. This total portion, positive of cycle, this portion is Vi is greater than minus VR. What the output follows the input. Just to observe. Yeah. Okay. Here you have to keep this one reference voltage minus VR. It follows the input only. What happening if Vi is less than minus VR? Output follows minus VR only. Okay. Minus VR. Here again, same replica. What the portion was flipped off? This portion was flipped off. This is the scenario of this series flip. With this direction, you are keeping the diode and having changing this one. Positive reference voltage and negative reference voltage, you will have this one transfer characteristics and input-output relations. You can also practice different circuits. Okay, different circuits. You can also change this diode. You can also change this diode like this. You can also change this diode like this. Then you can draw the transfer characteristics by observing the conduction statement of this diode. When you keep the diode like this, very simple. First condition is Vi. If suppose less than 0 volt, then D will become R. And what is the V naught? V naught is equal to Vi. Then, if suppose Vi is greater than 0 volts, then D will become half. Then what is the V naught? V naught is equal to 0. Then what are the transfer characteristics? Very simple transfer characteristics. Here we have the Vi, here we have the V naught. When Vi is less than 0, with the less than 0, here you have to observe minus Vi, how to observe minus Vi naught. Vi is less than 0 in this direction. In this place, output is Vi. When Vi is less than 0, output goes to follow in the Vi because diode is in on condition. When Vi is greater than 0, diode is in off condition, V naught follows the 0. This one. What is this one? Positive peak voltage of input. What is this one? Negative peak. It means it's going to be following the input, okay, for the output until it reaches to the negative peak. Negative of cycle is going to be followed, but positive of cycle is going to become clipped off. How the input and output relationships? We have the inputs like this and output. Take the correspondence. Positive of cycle, when Vi is greater than 0, then what happens? Output follows the 0. No output. When Vi is less than 0, output follows the input. It means that positive portion is totally clipped off, negative portion is going to be passing through the resistor and getting some output. Then for this also you have to make it to having positive reference and negative reference. Different practices you can perform by adding some component. If suppose this one is there like this, positive reference is there. What is the condition? Plus V reference. If Vi is less than plus V reference, then what happens? Diode will become on. Then V naught is going to be equal to Vi. If suppose Vi is greater than V reference plus V reference, then what happens? Diode will become on. V naught follows the V reference plus V reference. Now again you can be practice this one. What are the transfer characteristics of this circuit? Just you observe here. Here you have to be observed here. When V naught is greater than VR. Here VR is already you know that it is the positive reference. Okay? And Vi is less than plus V reference. What is going to happen? Let me consider plus V reference. Where could we find out this one? That is the plus V reference. What is the output? Here also it means that it is following the sometimes the plus V reference. It means that here Vi is greater than plus V reference, output follows the plus V reference. You could be understand when Vi is greater than plus V reference, output follows the plus V reference. Okay? Then Vi is less than plus V reference, output follows the input. Means this one. Means this one. So means what is the input and output characteristics of this diagram? Yes, we have to draw T and Vi, and we have to draw is a V input. Now the positive of side. Then you have to make it to mark this one plus V reference over the input event. Okay, this one is plus V reference. Then you have to take the corresponding points of this. Each and every point you to consider while you are drawing this input output relationship as well as the transfer characteristics. Then what is the statement? Vi is greater than V reference, output is going to be equal to the plus V reference. Where the Vi is greater than V reference? This is the portion. There you can find this one, Vi is greater than plus V reference. Output follows the plus V reference. What is the plus V reference? Plus V reference. Here in this portion, you should be observed this one, it is following the plus V reference. Then Vi is less than plus V reference, V naught follows the Vi. This the portion is having Vi is less than plus V reference following the input. And this is also portion represents Vi is less than the plus V reference. And this total negative of cycle is also going to be considered. It is less than the plus V reference. What the portion was left off, this one is going to be left off. By keeping this plus V reference and keeping diode orientation is like this. And if you change this one direction of applying voltage minus V reference, you can practice it on. Every detail is going to be given in the description. Like this, everything need to be considered in all the aspects. One more consideration is there. When you had this voltage, okay, when you had this voltage in series with that diode, because now you practice this one, these all reference voltages you are connecting across the output terminal. If you are giving the reference voltage in series with the diode, how the diode will be worked out? This thing you have to be practice. Now let us see this one. Now let us take diode like this, and you have the voltage. Just you made one resistor to get the output. Previously was connected reference voltage here, but you connected in series with the diode now. What is the VM? Now, how the diode will function? Here also same. Here very simple understand. Here this one is the anode voltage, this one is the cathode voltage. If anode voltage is greater than cathode voltage, diode will become unconduct. Here anode voltage should be understand it is the plus V reference voltage. It means that you have to keep the cathode voltage lesser than the plus V reference, then diode will become conduct. When diode will become conduct, what is the output? Output follows the input. Because the current is passing through the diode as well as the resistor. A diode as the ideal diode is going to be not having any forward resistance. So that when it acts like a short circuited, then VI is producing some current is passing through the diode and passing through the resistor. Is going to be dropping some voltage across the resistor that is equivalent to the VI itself. That is the case. You have to observe VI if suppose less than VR plus VR, then diode will become on. What the output? Output is equal to input. Output is equal to input. Then, if suppose VI greater than VR, diode will become off. What is the V naught? V naught is equal to 0. In this, you have to understand one simple criteria. This one is a diode which is connected with a positive voltage. This one is a positive reference voltage. Some voltage is there, cutting voltage of the diode, and this one is the cathode, this one is the anode. What is the total voltage of this diode? You have to understand, like you know that one, plus VR plus V gamma. But you consider this one V gamma is equal to 0 because it is the ideal diode, so it is going to be equal to the plus VR. So what is the voltage minimum drop required across the diode to make it to conduct the diode? It is the plus VR. It means that what is the output voltage? Very simple. You know that the output voltage V naught is equal to VI plus V gamma. V naught is equal to VI minus V gamma plus VR. But as I say that one, here consider this diode having the cutting voltage is V gamma. In series with that we have the positive V reference voltage. Then you can be consider what is the voltage across this total series components is plus VR plus V gamma. Just to consider the V gamma is equal to 0 because the ideal diode you consider. The resultant voltage V must and should be drop across this diode is plus VR. From this you have to be write the equation V naught is equal to VI minus V gamma, okay, plus VR. But you consider this V gamma is equal to 0, then V naught is equal to VI minus VR. Is the resultant voltage when diode is on condition. Just to observe here. Here, let me consider when VI is less than plus VR, then diode is on condition, but V naught is equal to, okay, Vi minus Vr. Then, if suppose Vi is greater than plus Vr, diode is in off condition, then V naught in off condition, V naught is equal to 0 volts. The transfer characteristics of this diode is to have to be observed. Here we have Vi, we have the V naught. Then we have to be consider this one V gamma. With the V gamma and with the V gamma and with the plus Vr is the positive Vr, and we have the positive Vr. Okay, then first condition is when Vi is less than Vr. When Vi is less than Vr, what is the V naught? Vi minus Vr. How can you show this one? From here to here, V naught is equal to Vi minus Vr. How can you show this one? Means is going to be considered like this, because the input voltage is going to be subtracted with the Vr. The resultant output voltage will become when Va is less than plus Vr. And according to the second condition, when Va is greater than plus Vr, output is going to be going the 0. It means what is the maximum voltage at this point? You can be observed here, Vi minus Vr. You could not be keep this one maximum voltage is the negative V, because it was subtracted in the plus Vr. Okay, this one is the transfer characteristics. How the input and output relationships. Input and output relationships are like this. Positive of cycle and negative of cycle. This one is Vi, and we have the T, and we have to be considered. This one is having the plus V reference voltage. Okay, and when you consider Vi is less than Vr, then output follows the Vi minus Vr. Just how to be observed here, like this. At this point, we have to cover corresponding point. Vi is less than plus Vr is going to be equal to Vi minus Vr. So we have to observe it is a less voltage. And when Vi is greater than plus Vr, it will get output is 0. And here it is also like this. And here it is also going to be like this. The difference is actual input is like this. But this solid line is representing that you are having the output. Because just it is not replica of the input, it is having the relation of the voltage in terms of Vi minus Vr. Here also you can observe it is Vi minus Vr. It's not replica of the input like this. The clipping portion is this one. The remaining portion is also reduced because of this Vr, which is connected in series with the diode. You can also connect this voltage like this, reference voltage like this, negative. And you can also practice like this. Diode is like this. You can also keep like this reference voltage when you keep that direction of the diode like this. You can practice in many ways. Okay, this is regarding the series stripper. Some more information if you need, okay, just go through the description, go through the link, whatever we are going to be posting in the description. Go through the link, then you can understand each and every point. Thank you, everyone.